ಮಟ್ಟಕ PSM ಎಆರ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರೆವು ಫಹು ಮೋಟು ಕುರವ್ವ
Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz says that the year ahead will bring tangible progress towards fulfilling the aspirations of the Maldivian people. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz sends New Year greetings to foreign heads of state and government as well as to international organizations on behalf of the government and people of the Maldives. The government launches 5 key social security and health programs to fulfill President Dr. Mohammad Muiz's election pledges.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naeem. Before looking into news in detail, I would like to wish all our viewers a very happy new year. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz says that the year ahead will, by the grace of Allah, bring a tangible progress towards fulfilling the aspirations of the Maldivian people. In his New Year address, the President said Maldivians have consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to development, prosperity and national progress throughout history. He added that this enduring spirit continues to guide the nation's journey forward. President Muiz said the foremost responsibility of the government is to nurture capable and principled citizens while advancing national development efforts to secure the Maldives' place among developed nations. The President noted that the new year also marks 900 years since the Maldives embraced Islam, describing the milestone as a moment of deep historical and spiritual significance for the nation. He said the new year provides an opportunity for reflection, encouraging citizens to consider the contributions they can make individually or collectively towards national progress and the well-being of society. The President concluded by urging the people to renew their commitment to unity, responsibility and service in order to build a stronger and more prosperous future for the country. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz sends New Year greetings to foreign heads of state and government as well as to international organizations on behalf of the government and people of the Maldives. In separate messages to friendly nations, the President extended his best wishes to leaders, their government and citizens, expressing confidence that the year ahead would bring a renewed vision and open opportunities to further strengthen cooperation between countries and their people. President Muiz also conveyed New Year greetings to the heads and staff of international organizations, emphasizing the importance of deepening working relationships and enhancing collective efforts within the multilateral system for the mutual benefit of member states. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz designates Project Ayla as a special economic zone SEZ through a presidential decree, paving the way for the development of a sustainable township. The move follows provisions set out in the First Amendment to the Special Economic Zone Act, which came into force on 10th November 2025, and Presidential Decree number 1/2025, published in the Government Gazette on 12th January 2025. These measures describe the minimum investment threshold required for sustainable townships to qualify as SEZs. Under Section 29H of the Act, the decree was issued for an investment agreement was signed between Crystal Holdings Private Limited and the Board of Investment earlier today. The approved development will include high-end residential real estate, an advanced health facility, a globally recognized school of hospitality and leadership, and an ultra-luxury resort featuring a hotel and marina. Plans also provide for self-sufficient energy and waste management systems powered by at least 60% renewable energy, alongside integrated aquaculture and agriculture initiatives. Additional infrastructure will be developed to support high net worth residents, employees and their families. An annex to the decree published in the Gazette outlines the boundaries of the Project Ayla SEZ and details the incentives available to businesses operating within the zone. The government launches 5 key social security and health programs to fulfill President Dr. Mohammad Moises' election pledges.
The programs were inaugurated by the Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim and the Minister of Social and Family Development Dr. Aishat Shiham at a special ceremony to launch the initiatives. The initiatives include financial support of $130 per month for thalassemia patients effective from 1st of January. They also include expanded health coverage under the National Health Insurance Scheme Asanda, including full coverage of costs for all therapy services at private hospitals and clinics and all mental health treatment costs. Meanwhile, Maldivian students and citizens residing in the Philippines can now access overseas medical support under the Merana scheme with 65% of medical costs covered by the government. The ceremony also saw the official launch of increasing financial support for single parents, providing a monthly allowance of $195 per child for a maximum of 4 children per family. All 5 initiatives have come into effect today.
Minister of Social and Family Development Dr. Aishat Shiham states that the government's newly launched Social Security and related programs will provide financial and social benefits to the public.
5 key programs from the social security and health sectors were officially inaugurated. Speaking at the launch ceremony, Minister Aishat Shiham emphasized that the measure of a society's civilization is how it cares for the poorest and most vulnerable citizens, and noted that President Moises' social policy is based on this principle. The minister said the initiatives reflect the president's vision of a compassionate society and respond to the needs of feedback of the people and aim to strengthen social and financial security for many Maldivian families. She added, this in turn contributes to national unity and compassion. The minister emphasized that special focus is given to citizens living in poverty, single parents, and families with no caregivers, providing both income support and overall quality of life. She asserted that the government pledges to continue improving living conditions and ensure social security for all citizens.
The Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, MIRA, is officially entrusted with the collection of Zakat al-Mal, property zakat, under the newly enacted Zakat Act. The agreement was signed by Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Said on behalf of the Maldives Zakat House and Commissioner of Taxation Hassan Zarir on behalf of MIRA. MIRA had been already managing zakat collection since 2016 under an agreement between the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and the authority. Previously, it was managed by the Islamic Ministry and by the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs before that. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Minister Shahim noted that the Zakat Act, the country's first, will come into force on 1st January 2026, giving Maldives Zakat House legal status. The minister noted that the Zakat Act will allow MIRA to be represented in the Zakat Council. This in turn will strengthen collaboration between the two institutions to improve the Zakat system. He added that MIRA has also facilitated charity and endowment funds, making donations easier for the public. In a landmark move to boost sustainable economic growth, the government signs an investment agreement with Crystal Holdings Private Limited for the development of the Ayla Sustainable Township project, the first under the Special Economic Zone framework.
A special signing ceremony was held at the Ministry of Economic Development and Trade, where Minister Mohammad Saeed represented the government and Peter Christic, CEO of Project Isla representing Crystal Holdings, signed on behalf of the investor. Minister Saeed emphasized the transformative potential of the project, stating that it would elevate the national economy by creating new income opportunities for locals and attracting global investors. He highlighted that the township to be built in Shaviani Atoll would strengthen the tourism sector by generating employment, prioritizing environmental protection, and utilizing 60% renewable energy. Christic expressed gratitude for the government's investor-friendly policies, praising the Maldives as a reliable destination for foreign investment. The $790 million project, set for completion by 2028, will feature world-class sustainable infrastructure, positioning the Maldives as a pioneer in eco-conscious urban development in the Indian Ocean. This initiative marks a significant step in the nation's economic diversification and commitment to green growth.
The Minister of Health, Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim, announces that around 170 infrastructure development projects are currently in progress across the country to enhance the quality and accessibility of healthcare service.
Speaking at a ceremony marking the launch of new digital healthcare software systems, Minister Nazim emphasized that strengthening provincial healthcare is a key priority under President Dr. Mohammad Muizz's national agenda. Projects underway include the construction of 28 new hospitals, 24 modern health centers, upgrades to 14 regional hospitals, and the renovation of 97 existing health facilities. Additionally, regional hospitals are being prioritized for upgrade to tertiary care health facilities. In addition to infrastructure, the minister highlighted significant human resource expansion with over 1,700 new staff hired in the past 2 years, about 1,000 of them deployed to provincial health centers. To further streamline operations, the ministry launched 2 major software systems, the Help Desk Support Platform to improve service efficiency and the Medical Stock System to enable real-time digital monitoring of medical supplies. A human resource management system and a digital document sharing platform are also being rolled out nationwide. Minister Nazim credited the progress to the government's decentralized governance model, stating that systemic and cultural reforms are essential to delivering healthcare closer to the people. The software launch was co-officiated by the Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, Adam Sharif Umar, and attended by health center directors from across the country, underscoring a unified push toward a stronger, more responsive health system.
Maldives National Defense Forces Welfare Company, also known by its acronym CIVEC, and the Ministry of Sports, Fitness and Recreation signed an agreement to develop sports infrastructure in 9 different regions throughout the Maldives.
The agreement was signed by Minister of State for Sports, Fitness and Recreation Muhammad Dilshan Abdullah and CIVEC Managing Director Colonel Ahmad Zubair. Under this agreement, 2 projects which are set to be carried out in Alif Dal Atoll, namely the changing of the turf for the Femfushi futsal pitch and the creation of a handball court at Omadu. In addition to this, a futsal ground will be constructed in Kamadu, Ba Atoll and Fulidu, Vava Atoll, and a multi-purpose volley court and futsal pitch will be built in Darambudu, Fafa Atoll. Also, fence repairs will be carried out for Kandukuludu, Gaf Alif Atoll. Also, a swimming track built for Diddu, Ha Alif, and a football ground created for Makunudu, Ha Dal, and Veva in Mim Atoll. Furthermore, a lighting system will be set up for the football ground in Nellaidu, Ha Dal. 9 projects have been signed for Noon Atoll, the creation of a multi-purpose ground for handball and futsal in Holodu, Lohi, and Velidu, a futsal pitch in Kandikuludu, a football ground in Magudu, outdoor volleyball court in Manadu and Lohi, as well as a fixed lighting system for Lohi and Miladu football grounds. The development of the Maldives sports sector remains a top priority of the government, displayed by the many initiatives to construct sports infrastructure assigned to different companies.
According to the latest economic update from the Maldives Monetary Authority, the Maldives saw a 9% year-on-year increase in total exports in November 2025.
The rise was primarily fueled by a significant boost in re-exports, particularly in the other re-export category, and re-exports of jet fuel for ships and aircraft. Domestic exports also grew during the month, led by higher revenues from canned and pouched seafood, a key component of the country's export portfolio. From January to November 2025, total exports rose 15% compared to the same period in 2024, despite a more modest overall trend in import growth for the year. In contrast, total imports surged 30% during the period, driven by higher spending on petroleum products, machinery, transport equipment, construction materials, and food items. The MMA report highlights the growing role of re-export activities in supporting external trade, even as the nation continues to promote its domestic goods, especially fish products, in global markets.
The government amends the dress code for civil service employees following public complaints that attire in government offices had fallen below expected social standards.
President Dr. Mohammad Muiz announced the decision during a community meeting with residents of Hulumale Phase 1, citing the need to restore the previous dress standards that were altered in 2014. The Civil Service Commission, or CSC, has now issued an updated dress code, reinforcing formal attire for employees. Under the new rules, male civil servants must wear office-appropriate shirts, trousers, ties, and office shoes with shirts neatly tucked in. Jewelry is restricted to a single ring. Female employees are required to wear long dresses, Maldivian traditional attire, or formal office wear. Additionally, all staff are barred from denying their hair any vibrant color other than black. The updated policy also provides detailed guidelines for support service employees. The 2014 dress code had emphasized cleanliness and appropriateness, but was seen as too lenient. The latest amendment aims to uphold professionalism and align with societal expectations, ensuring employees present themselves in a manner befitting their roles. The revised dress code is designed to reinforce dignity and efficiency in public service.
The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq closed a little changed in choppy trading as gains in communication services stocks were offset by declines in technology and financial stocks, with financials also weighing on the Dow.
Communication services shares were among the biggest gainers on the S&P 500, fueled by a rise in Meta Platforms. The technology company said it would acquire Chinese-founded artificial intelligence startup Manus, accelerating efforts to integrate advanced AI across its platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. Information technology stocks were range-bound, with Apple and Nvidia subdued while Microsoft inched up. On Monday, these heavyweight stocks snapped a six-session winning streak, their longest since September. Last week, the rally had also propelled the S&P 500 to a record high. Trading volumes remained thin in the holiday transated week, which analysts expect could heighten market volatility. Losses in Goldman Sachs and American Express weighed on the Dow.
Yeah, so here we are, just, really one trading session left in the year, and markets are really flat. We did set that new all-time high just before Christmas, but since then, we've really seen a sideways type of trend, even a slightly negative. Today is an indicative of that, as we started slightly higher on the indexes, and we've pulled back as the day has gone on. I think there's a couple things in motion at the same time.
Citigroup fell a day after it announced its board approved the sale of its Russian unit, AO Citibank, to Renaissance Capital. The deal will lead to a pre-tax loss of about $1.2 billion, largely related to currency translation. The S&P 500 lost 9.50 points to end at 6,896.24 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 55.27 points to 23,419.08. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 94.84 points to 48,367.06. The S&P 500 and the Dow are set for their 8th consecutive month of gains, their longest monthly winning streak since 2017.
New Zealanders were among the first in the world to celebrate the arrival of 2026 with a fireworks display in Auckland, followed by fireworks display and drone shows across the globe as people welcome 2026.
People around the world said goodbye to a sometimes challenging 2025 and expressed hopes for the new year to come. Midnight arrived first on the islands closest to the international dateline in the Pacific Ocean, including Tonga and New Zealand. One of the last centers to greet the new year was New York, where revelers celebrated in sub-zero temperatures, and those in Times Square watched the traditional ball drop at midnight. In Australia, Sydney began 2026 with a spectacular firework display as per tradition. Some 40,000 pyrotechnic effects stretched 7 kilometers across buildings and barges in its harbour and featured a waterfall effect from the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Across the globe, many countries welcome 2026 with spectacular fireworks and drone shows.
Cambodians welcomes 18 soldiers home after Thailand released them under a renewed ceasefire agreed by the two countries at the weekend. Authorities from both countries said easing tensions after weeks of deadly border clashes.
As part of Saturday's deal to halt the fighting, Thailand agreed to release the 18 soldiers in its custody if the ceasefire held for 72 hours. However, the handover was delayed by 1 day after Thailand made allegations of ceasefire violations by Cambodia, which Cambodia denied. A convoy of buses brought the soldiers out of Phnom Penh's old airport as crowds gathered by the roadside to cheer and display Cambodian flags. A 72-year-old village chief from the capital, Chahum Choon, urged for a lasting peace between the two neighboring countries.
Jiang Ling becomes the first woman to skipper the overall winner of the Sydney to Hobart yacht race after her double-handed entry. Min River was promoted to first place following a protest.
Lin and co-skipper Alexis Lozon seized victory when race officials penalized French boat BNC for a sail breach, stripping it of top spot and handing Min River the handicap honors at the 80th edition of the race. The New Caledonian-flagged BNC, skippered by Michelle Quintin and Jan Rigol, had appeared set for the overall win before the race committee imposed a penalty of 1 hour and 5 minutes following a successful protest.
We never even think about we're going to win overall because it seemed to me too far-reach for our little boat, think about all those other boats, all very good sailors and performers.
The triumph marked a double milestone, the first female-skippered yacht and the first double-handed entry to win the race's overall title. Master Locke Comanche took line honors in the Sydney to Hobart race after pulling clear of a three-way tussle with Supermax's Law Connect and HSK Scallywag 100.
Falconry, the raising and training of falcons for hunting, was once a desert survival skill for Arab nomads and remains a prized tradition across the Gulf.
Saudi Arabia's King Abdulaziz Falconry Festival, organized by the Saudi Falcon Club, centers on two marquee competitions, the Al Malua Lure Race and the Mazayin Falcon Beauty Contest, with total prizes of up to $10.1 million. The festival features 139 rounds across 6 categories, including classes for young and mature birds. Falconers and enthusiasts have gathered over 17 days to celebrate the sport and revive a deep-rooted heritage. According to the regular participant of the festival, after decades of participation, some regulars are now able to identify the bloodline of the falcon by its flight. The festival runs until 11th January.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.